inside the ring with Manny,
Sean Hicks, and
Hopper Dominguez.
El Hopper Dominguez, breaking it down like it is, like it should be.
I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are feeling really, really good. Or even if you're not, we're just glad you're here because it's about to get pod nasty. We're locked and loaded with some boxing talk for ya.
What we got for us, Hopper?
I like the sound of that. Well, we have Saturday, Listo Gaitan, Nery Abrigon for the ABO Regional Light Heavyweight Championship.
Listo is one of my favorite fighters. I'm not just saying that because I know him, because he's one of my favorite fighters. And honestly, he's an all-action fighter. And Eguero, love that guy as well. Mark Vasquez, fantastic fighter. Hey, if you're listening to this podcast and you don't have your tickets, what's wrong with you? If you lived in the DFW area, you don't have your tickets, what's going on? There's no excuses if you're a real boxing fan. And I don't want to hear about, oh, well, I don't want to miss Spence Porter. That's not the fight you want to go to. Can you go to that in person? Huh? It's kind of late for that.
Gotta support that local.
Support that local.
That's
Support
right.
your local boxing.
Support your local boxing. Support Listo. One of the best names in boxing today. Eguero, the second or third best name in boxing today. We're going to talk about some other best names in boxing as well. We have your man Canelo Álvarez, the cash cow himself, living the dream. La vida loca.
El Canelo.
I love him so much, and he makes me mad. It's like a weird relationship that I don't want to talk about, but it's too late. It already came out. Manny has some great information he wants to kind of enlighten us with as far as Canelo.
Canelo, the cash cow.
Cash cow.
My
It's
boy.
a love-or-hate relationship
It's
here
abusive.
with the Mexican. Talk to a Puerto Rican about that, huh?
I don't know any Puerto. Wait, Manny?
Myself.
This is how we find out.
Rican.
This is getting weird, and I like it.
But overall, we provide the best brawls, the best boxings in history. In this case, we're here to talk about two of the great ones on the Unforgotten division, the light heavyweight, a division that I have to say there's no competition whatsoever.
That's an understatement. That's pretty accurate. So don't disagree. If you're going to disagree, do it quietly and listen to what he has to say. Go ahead, Manny.
Don't get me wrong. This is a division that honestly, a lot of the great ones that end up their careers here. Hopkins, right? Andre Ward,
Love them.
Roy Jones Jr.
He moved around way too much, but I love him.
But he also finished in here. But someone that I think we forgot about him, and he finished this division undefeated. Joe Calzaghe.
Joe Calzaghe. Shout out to Gojo Calzaghe.
Calzaghe. So the division doesn't have any kind of competition in it, and there's no money in it. Thanks to Canelo now.
Thanks, Canelo.
Coming up into the light heavyweight.
Uh-oh.
And, at least he came in and is fighting, the best in the division in Kovalev. Are we right about this?
Okay, so got a couple of thoughts on that. First of all, I'll say anytime that Canelo fights, I get excited. Not in a weird way, as a boxing fan. I'll just leave it at that. This wasn't my favorite announcement of the options that were out there. In Jade, you got the Charlo. And there's a guy that he has 3 G's in his name. Triple G.
Don't
say it.
You're absolutely right, and this brings to my point.
You had to bring him up.
You had to bring him up.
But conversation.
But what it does, it brings to the point that this at least he was smart enough to go up there and provide some cash to everyone because Forgotten Division not paid and he went directly to the big name line, right? Because if we talk about Dimitri Bivol, ring a bell?
Yes, it does. Ding, ding, ding.
Only because he fought Samuel Clarkson. That's locally here in Dallas. That's
Shout
probably the
out
only
to
reason
Main
why he-
Event. Shout out to Main Event. Fighting October 19th in Mexico.
That is right.
Shout out.
WBA champion. Took that belt night 2017. 5 defenses right now. Why he hasn't fought Kovalev yet? Let's talk about another one.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander, WBC champion. What about Arthur?
Beterbiev,
right? IBF. And, of course, the man himself, WBO, Sergey Kovalev.
All right, so just real quick on some of the names you mentioned, we do have to acknowledge the fact that boxing does have politics, right? So that does impede when you have some of your promoters to eliminate some of the potential fights from happening. Not making an excuse because that's not why we're here.
We're not. But it brings to my point that all these contracts, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5. I mean, we're talking about Canelo having the second largest contract in sports history behind Mike Trout.
Shout out.
Shout out. But $60 million. Do you think this fight's worth $60 million?
Not by itself.
I think the one that's worth $60 million is those three famous words.
G3.
Nothing take away Kovalev. He has given us the best dual fights. Pascal.
Good.
Andre Ward. 1 and 2.
Really good.
And recently, he fought Alvarez. Lost.
Right.
And they came back 11-round knockout. I'm not saying, right, that Canelo is going to run over him real quickly. But for me, in my understanding is what's in it for Canelo. I know what's in it for Kovalev. Number one, you beat Canelo. You beat Canelo in Las Vegas. That's his backyard. And you're going to be in contention for the Boxer of the Year. Plus the money and the respect he's been wanting to get. Because, of course, there's no competition in the division ever since he moved up and stayed in here and fought the best of the best.
I mean, again, all those make sense, but we can't forget a big important thing that, once you get to the point of a Canelo where you're borderline icon, it's not the money. It's about legacy because he's already established on who he is, right? So, legacy. I know that, Hopper, you want to mention something about Canelo and legacy because Canelo knows all about Canelo.
Canelo
Hopper
knows
knows
all
all.
Canelo.
He should.
He better be.
What is it for Canelo? What's it for Canelo?
Well, with Canelo, it's not about money anymore. He has plenty of money. He has oodles of money.
He makes money. He prints money.
The guy took a picture the other day on social media with 7 of his luxury cars looking depressed. Worried about what the haters were telling him on social media. That's how concerned he was.
That makes me sick.
My goodness.
No, it's more about legacy. If he beats Kovalev, and that's a big if. Kovalev has, people forget, Kovalev actually killed the man in the ring.
Wow. Why am I not surprised that Hopper would bring up death in a morbid situation in the ring with a smile on his face? Did you guys see that with the camera? That guy couldn't wait to
Edit
say
that out.
No, we're not editing that out. Spider, keep that in. Spider,
There's
keep that
the camera
in.
right there
And
watching
there you go.
me.
He's
All right,
stopping
so-
the live.
Oh, no.
All right,
Yes.
so
Kovalev he doesn't talk about it. Every time you bring it up, he deflects the question, he turns it around. But that's how much power this guy has, and there's divisions in boxing for a reason. If Canelo moves up and wins this, he'll be one of 4 men ever in the history of boxing to win a belt from the 154-pound division all the way to the 175-pound division.
That's a huge point.
Sugar Ray Leonard,
Yeah.
Thomas Hearns,
Ooh.
and Mike McCullum.
McCullum.
And if Canelo wins, he gets added to that list. It's all about the legacy.
I
It's
do
about the
agree with
legacy.
that. It's about legacy at this point. Though when you're depressed and you have 7 cars and you print money, clearly it's not about that. It's not about that financial. And he's still so young. And there's just so much opportunity for him to continue to make money. So if it's not about the money, which he's already established, he's a huge icon. He's a huge brand within himself. He's got to go out there and chase those potential legacy fights. And I think from that standpoint, if we're looking at what you said, Manny, as far as what is he looking for, I think it's legacy. Now, is it a legacy that you agree with? Doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like it. That was a big sigh.
Negative.com.
Whoa.
Yeah. But overall, I think we're going to enjoy. It's not the fight that I want. That's why I'm totally against fighters getting big-time money for a certain amount of fights because obviously if at that point he didn't make all that money, this fight probably he would have made him 10 million or less than that. He was not going to take it.
Okay, so this is
But
one
he's
thing.
got the money. Now he goes to the legacy.
He goes for the legacy. Now, what about this, though? Like, when the fight was announced, obviously I wasn't thrilled. I wasn't excited. Like, if Triple G would have been announced, please, God.
Well, even Andrade's we're talking about.
No,
earlier,
even that. I would have
right?
been excited. Like, thank you for unifying the division. Please. But I digress. My point is that when they had the face-off, did you guys have a reaction when you said, oh, my God, Kovalev is huge? It looked like
Kovalev is huge. Not only is he much taller than him, much bigger than him, but if you look at the comparisons between their knuckles, Canelo's knuckles look like an infant compared to Kovalev.
It looked like a coach and his son. He was putting his son into the game because his son had been on the bench. Right, that's what Canelo was. The cash cow was on the bench, and Kovalev put him in the game. That's my reaction, because I was thinking to myself, like, nobody wants to. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did that have a? Did you have a reaction to that?
I sure did. I mean, I was like, what is this guy doing there? What's in it for you right now? I mean,
My first thought, he's crazy. He's
He
either
is.
crazy or he's got some cojones.
legacy.
Well, we know he has cojones. We know he has cojones. So he's got to be a little loco.
Mexicano.
Little loco. And that's kind of where I'm going, because I'm thinking, because Harper did bring it up, Kovalev did kill somebody. So
Rest in peace.
And what
R.I.P.
expense are you trying to get that
Roman
legacy? Going into a weight that, I mean, you probably, what's your weight at the night of the fight? 180?
and there's no limit on the weight.
I mean, what do you think Kovalev's going to finish up the night of the fight?
He's going to be 185.
Oh, he's gonna weigh more than that, I think.
I'd say
close
Fight
to
night?
200 probably.
I'd say that. I mean,
Yeah.
Whoa.
Canelo
Close
be lucky,
to
Canelo be
200
lucky
pounds.
if he even makes it close to 180.
Canelo will have to eat in his training camp. He's not gonna have to cut weight.
He's going to have to eat one of those cars, right?
He's gonna have to.
That's it. But
Oh.
I tell you what, it's still gonna be a good one. We're gonna watch the legacy, see if it happens. If not, there's gonna be a new legacy. There's gonna be contention for the Boxer of the Year. He's gonna have the money, and it's gonna happen a second fight against them if, in fact, Kovalev can take care of business.
All right, so I have to ask, all right, just for the sake, because it seems like we're kind of dancing around the issue point blank. I'll go ahead and say it could be a mistake for Canelo. But from the standpoint of, like, that was my reality check when I saw them face off, like, Jesus. All right?
He's huge.
He just met his father. Like,
Nah.
what is good about to happen? So
I am
my
your
point is,
father.
even though people keep saying, like, Kovalev is susceptible to body shots, and that's what Canelo
You
does.
have to get there.
You have to survive. And then that's another thing, too. Since the change and the shift that Kovalev has in his corner, he's no longer with Jackson, there's a difference.
There he is.
Kovalev plays
That's a
defense.
good
He
point.
fights, he boxes more defensively, and he has a devastating, I'll go ahead and say it, that's how he got Yarde out, with his jab.
A jab. Say that again.
Jab, jab, jab.
Jab,
Dropped
jab,
him with
body,
a jab.
body.
Finished him.
Right. And he had to dig deep, right? He has cojones, too. I don't know how you say it in Russian. Probably
Could,
don't even
probably.
try.
I don't
I
know.
don't want to offend anybody. We're just going to say
Vodka.
balls.
Vodka.
Vodka.
Shout out to those
Shout out to any sponsors that
listeners
want to, yeah.
from all over the world.
All right. So my point being is, I could be a potential mistake. All right. So if we're going to go ahead and make predictions, because I know everybody's like, these guys are talking out their ass. I am. They aren't. I'm going to go ahead and say that I think that Canelo's going to win, but he's not going to dominate like people were saying. Kovalev is good. He's still good. He's a champion.
Kovalev is one of the better fighters of this era. Not only is he a power puncher, maybe the power is he's kind of lost it a little bit in his older age, but he's still a pure boxer. He still has that stiff
He's a
jab.
taller,
he still
bigger,
has that stiff
stronger
jab, bigger knuckle,
guy.
bigger, taller, just
All right.
pretty much almost every advantage except for defense and speed. You probably give that to Canelo.
Right. So we know that obviously, Canelo has a beard on him. He's taken massive punches. He's been in a lot of wars. He's been in some tough fights. That's another thing too. Like, I'll go ahead and say that we talked about Ward, Kovalev 1 and 2. The second one, Kovalev, I got to be honest, if it wasn't for those low blows, that fight was kind of back and forth a little bit towards the middle rounds. If the
Low blows?
low blow.
Low blows.
How low can you go? Can you go that low?
Don't want to go that low.
Blows.
Definitely gave us the money at that
I mean,
time.
it's they were borderline shots. I think they
You
were.
think so?
I
Replay.
No,
low
but
blows.
no, but here's my thing. My point is, people are making it seem like Ward dominated him and he didn't to me.
No.
Right.
No,
So
no,
that's what I was going with. I mean, obviously, it wasn't. He wasn't. Would you say he was outclassed or he was outperformed?
No, I think he was just, and he even said it himself. Kovalev said he learned a lot about that fight with Andre Ward. Those fights with Andre Ward. What he learned the most was that Andre Ward stays in the gym.
He does.
He doesn't. After a fight, he recovers. It's back to the gym,
And it's
that's
proven.
what Kovalev said. He learned the most after the Ward fight. Who knows what he did?
Shabransky.
He lives
He
a
came
party
back-
lifestyle.
He came back and knocked down Shabransky in the second round.
Yep.
And then comes back with the Igor and knocks him out in the 7th round. This is where Alvarez and before Alvarez.
Oh, before
both.
All right, so we're about to lose some listeners right now. I'm about to make a crazy statement. Would you guys agree that Andre Ward's a better boxer than Canelo? Go ahead and you don't have to look in the camera.
Let me better boxer. Nah.
Boxer.
No.
I think we're talking
I'm
about
gonna
two
say
different
no
boxers.
because Canelo Ward is a little more. He leans more on the rough housing than Canelo.
He does.
He's a little more, and he's pro rough housing. Canelo is very technical, very sharp defensively. He comes at you. He has the Mexican style of fighting. It's on you to tag him, and not even Golovkin could do that.
I think he is right now the second best boxer
Pure boxer.
there is.
Pure boxer.
Being number one,
Behind-
you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that Ukrainian guy. No. Who?
The best boxer in the world is Money Mayweather.
Oh,
He's not
active.
retired. Well,
Active.
he's active. He'll be back. He's back. He's coming back. But I guess that's a different podcast for everyone, right?
Yeah, different podcast.
Completely. I didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah, me either.
We go
but
hours. But my point is that being the second best, active, let's say the best there is active, I think in my opinion, he's going to go in, he's going to knock on the door, he's going to take the title, he's going to take the money, and then go back down. He's got no business staying.
It's a money grab.
That's it.
Or do you think he's going to stay
Legacy?
and defend?
No, I don't think he'll stay in the defense because some of the guys that are up there are just Bivol. They're too young to. He's
let them unify themselves.
yes,
And see what happened. But he got no time to do that. He got
No.
business to do down there in the middleweight. Maybe.
what I really want to see.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Tell me.
Boo Boo, you mentioned him earlier.
Yeah.
Boo Boo Andrade,
Andrade.
Charlo, winner gets Canelo.
Thank
Boom.
All right, so thank you for saying that. Why hasn't that happened? No, seriously.
Now I understand legacy. That's what we're talking
Right.
about.
So if we're talking about legacy, if we're making that as the argument for Kovalev to give it validity, why not have the opportunity to get 2 belts? Like, what do you say?
It's the blueprint to fight Canelo. It's the blueprint to fight the cash cow. We've seen it in Daniel Jacobs and Triple G. They fought 12-round, fantastic fight. It was a razor-thin decision that Triple G pulled off. What ended up happening? He got Canelo after he raised his profile. And then even Daniel Jacobs ended up fighting him. If Boo Boo Andrade and Charlo want Canelo, face off against each other, winner gets Canelo.
that is right.
I don't see why it hasn't happened. To me, it's just logical, right? Your leverage is politics, but which we hate. That's the dirty word in boxing.
That is
We don't.
we don't say that word.
We don't say that word. But we did.
So my question to you guys is, are we finally gonna see the 3? Are we finally gonna see? Because into my eyes, it's 1-1. But the real scorecard says 0-1, tied in the first one, Canelo the second one. Are we gonna be able to see a third? And if Triple G wins, we should be a tiebreaker before. So do you think people are scared of that?
No. Like when you say people scared of that, as far as fans or his camp?
As far as camp, saying that even though if, let's say, Triple G wins, then we have to go back again into a 4th one to kind of settle things up?
No. Well, for me, I'll just go ahead and say real quick, I do think it's going to happen, and that's because of the belt that was stripped from Canelo, and now it's going to be the vacant belt is going to be fought for Triple G in his next fight with the next 2
Triple
weeks.
G has to get through Derevchenko first.
No, that's another fight too.
Looking ahead because Triple G has his hands full in about 2 weeks. Not this Saturday, but the next.
Yeah, that's no layup at all.
Derevchenko is not. He gave Daniel Jacobs all he could handle.
That is what I say. After Kovalev, we will see the 3rd. That's my point.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I think the 3rd is the window is closed.
I think Canelo took a bunch of it personal in the lead up to the last fight with the whole just everything that happened, and especially Triple G and his camp, Abel Sanchez doing a lot of talking. They begged Canelo. They begged him to stand in the middle of the ring and exchange punches. Canelo answered the call in the second fight. He pretty much lit him up like a Christmas tree in the second fight, in his own fight, at his own game.
Yeah.
And Canelo feels like he has closure on that fight. That's from reading what the comments that he's spoken to the media is he has very little interest. He even went as far as to he was upset by some of the comments De La Hoya said. He said he has no idea why De La Hoya is talking about a Triple G Canelo fight third.
Right.
He has I think he just feels.
Do
he
you
has
think they're
closure in
avoiding
there.
that subject and just want Canelo to go? I mean, because right now Triple G's camp got to be thinking, what in the world this guy's doing going up there? They probably don't understand either.
I'm sure they are. I mean, because I think in their mind, they're thinking they get the next fight, they get that belt, Triple G3. I mean, from their perspective.
What
right?
about a Triple G goes up there like heavyweight Triple G?
and Canelo, but that's
Capital
I'm glad
G.
you brought that
Capital
up.
G,
I'm
G,
glad
G.
you brought that up. See, Triple G has stayed in one division. He's stayed in one division, and then Canelo's mentioned himself that he's the one taking risks, going up in divisions, fighting other guys. And what is Triple G doing? He's defending. Derevchenko's tough as well, but he's fought the likes of Wade and Martirios and just guys that what was the last the Canadian guy he fought
Oh,
the last Rolls Royce.
Yeah,
Who?
Rolls Royce.
I mean, I had to YouTube him quite a bit to get familiar with him, and that's probably another frustrating thing is that Triple G he has been carefully maneuvered since his time with HBO.
Which that's why I'm saying, like, so I think the combination of there's truly bad blood, but not to the point of where they want to settle in the ring.
No, I think-
Canelo feels he won and he closed that chapter, so to speak. So to me, I think this move was kind of to signify it's over, right? That's how I view it. So here's the thing though, because we can't just let this. Because I think the people are trying to like, what do you think is going to happen? I'm gonna go ahead and make my prediction, because I'm that kind of guy. My prediction is Canelo's gonna win. But it's not going to be decisive. It's not going to be a knockout. I could see a knockdown by a body punch, but I see it going, and I could see it being Canelo winning a split. Because, again, I don't know about you guys, but when I saw the size differential, and, again, like you guys were joking, but I started thinking about it and started doing the calculations in my head. Kovalev's going to be 285 pounds when they fight. All right? Kovalev is
huge.
He's going to be as big as he's ever been. He's going to be Super Kovalev in the ring, and they have no Super Kovalev. And, again, as Hopper pointed out to you guys, don't forget he has killed before. So my point is RP. So my point is, I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. I think there's going to be surprises, and I'm going to go ahead and make a bold prediction. Write it down. Please don't. I think this will be the first time we see Canelo in real trouble.
I can see that happening.
Oh, tell me more, brother. So I'm not the only one. Tell me more. Oh,
yeah.
Canelo's my boy. Yes, he is. I mean, it's no secret.
There's
Every
no
time he
secret.
fights, I put on the Canelo bandana, the Canelo shirt. Yes, he's my boy. But want to call it as fair as possible. My prediction for the fight, I reserve the right to change it as the training camp progresses as well. So
also during the fight too. He'll change during the fight, mid-fight.
mid-fight, I reserve the right to change it during the middle of the fight. No, I think Canelo takes it. I think Kovalev, he's still very efficient, very technical. Some of the powers escaped him a bit. I feel, but there are other variables that we need to consider. How bad is Canelo's knee? He does have a bad knee.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why they pushed the fight from September is so he can heal a little bit. He's always wearing that brace over the knee, and it's gotten the brace has gotten bigger as the fights have gone on. But so that's why I say I want to reserve the right to. But like you said, Sean, I can definitely see Canelo in serious trouble. Kovalev is big. Kovalev is huge. Canelo is he better be extremely prepared.
All right,
for
so
this.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this something, and then I know Manny wants the floor because it's his floor. Is
not at all.
It is. So what I want to say is, if Canelo has the fight approach or strategy that he used against Triple G, the first fight, and he left himself open a lot. He played itself kind of safe on the ring.
Yes, he was.
He let the action come to him.
He boxed. He
He
counterpunched.
counterpunched. I see my prediction and your prediction, sir, is coming to fruition all day because that would be a huge mistake.
If he takes the same approach that he did in Triple G2, where he was hunting him down pretty much the whole fight, stalking Triple G Mexican style against a guy like Kovalev, I don't know. That's That's risky.
All right, so I have to ask one last thing. I'm sorry, Manny. We will give you the floor because again, it's your
Oh,
floor.
hey, Manny.
Manny.
He's here.
All right, so
I'm just spectating today.
I have to ask. I have to ask. Now, obviously, you're a big Canelo fan. Your friends, co-workers, better half, your kids are raised to be little Canelo fans.
Canelitos.
They have exactly. Well, they have their Canelo goggles on during the fight. All they see is Canelo wins. My question to you is, what do they think of this fight? Because I know when it was announced how I felt, but how do they respond to this fight? Are they excited? Does anything Canelo does makes them happy? What's the deal?
They pretty much just go off of whatever I tell them. But
the power.
But
Daddy says
when we shared all the footage of the press conference and the pictures on social media, a lot of, oh my goodness, he's huge. Or a lot of, he's moving up 2 divisions. That's what I keep hearing is he's moving up 2 divisions. Está loco.
So a little bit of reality check, kind of like I said.
Yes, he's the people understand because they have a better understanding of it after seeing what might happen with Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence when he tried to jump up.
Right.
So a lot of people, they can see it not working out so well for Canelo.
And I think that's great. I think the fact that there's some intrigue from that standpoint about what may or may not happen. Again, I guess more boxing enthusiasts, if you will. People that are aware of boxing and understand the sport. They're like, he's past his prime in regard to Kovalev. But you can't fake size. Like if you're big, you're big, and then he's not just big; he's big and good.
Divisions for a reason.
There's divisions for a reason. All right, there's levels to this. All right, so
Lots of 'em.
now we've been building up because he's over there ready to unleash. Many unleashed.
So what's your final prediction for the
Canelo.
fight?
Canelo by decision. It's gonna go
By
12 rounds. He's
decisions.
not gonna stop him. It's gonna be a unanimous decision.
Unanimous decision.
But Canelo will be hurt, right? We have that on
Canelo will be
Spider, we have that on
hurt.
camera?
Yes, he
Yes?
will be
Thumbs up?
hurt.
All right, great.
As much as it pains me to say
It
that.
doesn't pain him at all.
It pains me.
Don't hide from the truth.
Pays me.
All right.
Well. My prediction:
Here he goes, guys.
Canelo Kovalev.
Ay.
Drum roll.
And I have to say that Mexicanos al grito
De
de guerra. I think that
Oh, wow.
Canelo, it's gonna win. To bring down the tower, you have to pound it in the body, and I think that
Chop it
Canelo
down.
is gonna start pounding the body left and right. He's gonna have to get really close to him. You can't separate yourself a lot because he's gonna be jabbing, and Canelo doesn't want that. And he's gonna have to try to push Kovalev to the ropes and keep pounding that body until finally the tower will come down.
Oh.
Is he going to knock him out at one point? I don't know, but I think Canelo is going to throw that right hook into that chin, and let's see how strong is Kovalev.
All right, so that's a good one right there. Like we keep talking about the response and how the fighters are going to respond to each other's power. Let's say, for example, this sounds kind of crazy, but there are, as Hopper would say, there's weight divisions for a reason. What if Canelo's power doesn't translate?
Well, I mean, but he's going to get tired, right?
No. Fatigue. I think fatigue is more of a concern than actual.
Kovalev's been there before, so
Right.
he knows already. But, I mean, Canelo at 180,
Right?
he's probably going to get up at 180.
That's another interesting aspect of it. Is Canelo going to put on a lot of weight to try to offset the size advantage, or is he still going to try to come in lean to keep his speed?
Because let me tell you
that's
something.
another-
Although he fought Jacobs real well, but I mean, it wasn't anything. Jacob, of course, was the bigger fighter, but I didn't see that power that Canelo showed us in the middleweight.
No, I don't think so either. And I think it kind of goes to a great point that Hopper brought up early. Let's talk about everything's for a reason. So I think the fact that Canelo is kind of having a challenge with his knee, he won't have to be as quick. Maybe he's thinking because maybe he could, he'll have the lumbering guy in front of him. He won't have to be as quick on his feet, but that could be a mistake.
That could be a mistake.
could
And
be a
I hope he
mistake.
doesn't pull a Mikey when he says, I see something. Mikey didn't see anything.
I'm better at him than at everything I do.
I just hope he doesn't get hit hard with one of those Kovalev punches, because and he's gonna be looking at it, he's gonna say, I see that, people.
Canelo